Duties of polling team. Disclaimer: this training material is for use in training of election officials. It should not be referred as guideline of VCI. In case of any variance in this training material, the Commission guidelines, rules, laws shall prevail. Learning outcomes. At the end of the session, the participants will be able to explain the duties of presiding officer. They will also be able to know the duties of polling officers number 1, 2 and 3. Members of the polling team are presiding officer, polling officer number 1, polling officer number 2 and polling officer number 3. Now we will discuss the duties of the presiding officer. Duties of the presiding officer are interconnecting EVM VVPAT, conducting a mock poll, fixing green paper seal on the control unit, establishing voting booth for secrecy of voting, making sitting arrangement for polling agents, ensure that the polling starts at the scheduled time. If there is any obstruction in the election, then take appropriate decision as per the rules of the Commission. Close the poll at the appointed hour. Switch off the CU and VVPAT. Put the ballot unit, control unit and VVPAT in their carrying cases. Filling all the forms and sealing them properly as per the rules after the close of the poll. Duties of the first polling officer. Duties of the polling officer number 1 are: he is in charge of the marked copy of the electoral roll. He is responsible for identification of electors and filling statistical formats. Before the first voter signs in Form 17A, that is Register of Voters, the polling officer number 1 shall check with the presiding officer and record in ink in Form 17A that total in the control unit checked and found to be 0. He will mark the electors who had casted the vote in the marked copy of the electoral roll. For male electors, he will draw a diagonal line in red ink. For women electors, he will draw a diagonal line in red ink plus encircle the serial number. For third gender electors, he or she will draw a diagonal line in red ink plus put a star mark near the serial number of that elector. The procedure of marking of electors is shown on the screen. The first elector is male. For male elector, we had drawn a diagonal line in red ink. For second elector, who is female, we had drawn a diagonal line in red ink plus we had also encircled the serial number of that elector. For third elector, who is third gender, we had drawn a diagonal line with red ink, as well as we had put a star mark near the serial number of that elector. Duties of the second polling officer. Polling officer number 2 is in charge of indelible ink. He or she shall inspect the index finger of the elector's left hand, shall apply indelible ink on the index finger of the elector's left hand in a straight line from the ridge of the skin and nail, shall obtain the signature or the thumb impression of the elector in Register 17A before allowing the elector to vote, shall issue voter slip to the elector. If the elector has decided not to vote, then decided not to vote will be written in the remark column of that voter in the voter register 17A and the signature of the presiding officer will be taken. The procedure of marking of indelible ink is shown on the screen. The register 17A is shown on the screen. Sample of the register 17A having details of the elector is shown on the screen. Voter slip is shown on the screen. Duties of the third polling officer. Polling officer number 3 is in charge of EVM control unit. Will collect the voter slip from the elector issued by the second polling officer. The left index finger of the voter left hand will also be inspected to ensure that it has indelible ink on it. He or she will release the ballot by pressing the ballot button of the control unit. If after pressing the ballot button of the control unit, elector has decided not to vote or has gone without voting, then the next elector will be asked to go directly to the polling booth to cast the vote. In this educational video, we had learned about the duties of the polling team. If you have any doubt or want any clarification, then you can contact through the mail as shown on the screen. For other videos or rules and regulations, you can visit the web address as shown. Thank you.